Credence has a missionary's belief in community organizing. He says grassroots, like Bible thumpers say Jesus. Hallelujah. Credence and I stopped at Walmart from opening once. It was earlier in the year, and it lasted about a minute. 4 months of door-to-door organizing, leafleting, town meetings, petitions, land use hearings, senators, phone calls, cold, free donuts, and sermons to the choir in the rain with balloons whipping around our faces in the wind while we chant and people drive by in heated sedans and look confused. Take pictures and send them out to everyone who couldn't come to the rally. And it worked. For about a minute. It's hard to do the same thing twice. It's hard to feel the same way you did, especially when you really want to. We just set them back a couple of months on their timetable. Chipped teeth, flags, crosses, and white sugar. I moved in with Credence and Annette the week of Walmart's grand opening. That was back in May when we found out Annette was pregnant. They said I could stay until the twins are born. They gave me the attic. It has dormer windows and a leaky skylight. When I go to sleep, I stare up through the glass and pretend that none of us are here. Out of a desire to understand, I began collecting maps and putting them on the walls. Gift shop maps with sea monsters on them and beveled unfamiliar coastlines. Cold War maps with the Soviet menace spreading like leprosy. Pink East Germany, red China, maps of Pangaea and Gondwanaland from back before the seams pulled apart, when we were all still one big continent. Deep time, where countries turn to silt, silt turns to stone, and we can now tell time by comparing the rates of nations collapsing. Biostratigraphy, patriostratigraphy. Following the law of superposition, one thing always follows another. Map of the Trail of Tears, bike map, subway map, and one I drew when I was 12 and wrote Della's World in scented marker at the top. Historical, geological, topographical, ideological, and imaginary. Sitting in Credence's attic, I tried to figure out if culture was just geology. Maybe Rwanda was caused by mountain building, and the Russo-Japanese War by glacial till. Maybe you need pirated rivers in the headlands before you can have a Paris commune. I found a picture online of a man setting himself on fire. It didn't say where he was or what he was protesting. Next to his leg was a gas can. He must have just dropped the match because I could still see his clothes. His arms were raised and flailing. I thought of Buddhists who can sit as quiet as well water and burn like candles. Like in that famous photo where the Zen monk is sitting cross-legged on fire in the middle of an intersection while cars drive past and people watch. Everything near him is blurry. The cars, the people, because they're moving. But he's not. He is absolutely sharp because he is absolutely still. Every detail of his robe, his eyelids, and the oil from the smoke is absolutely clear. I first saw that picture in high school. I remember telling Credence about it. On fire. On fire, I said. You'd have to move. They don't move. Della, like I was doing it on purpose. Della, their bodies would make them move. They'd have to. His voice thinned and climbed. It's biological, he squealed. They wouldn't have any control over it. In 1969, in Prague, it took Jan Palach 3 days to die because he wasn't trained to just sit there. It was more like what Credence said. He had to move. It was biological.